Welcome to the City of Healing, where the city resides within. This is your sister, Sinette and Angela. This beautiful Saturday morning, I am in this morning, even though I have been out as I shared the outfit of the day. It's quite chilly, maybe like 30-some degrees, below 30-some degrees, but the sun is out. So I have and will spend some more time outside, but I decided to come within this morning and just do a brief share, talk about what I usually talk about, casual conversation about the outfit of the day, the perfume of the day, some of the things that I like, but does not, engulf the bulk of my life, because as soon as, I'm finished doing this, maybe run some errands, I am going to get very, very comfortable, maybe do a little reading, maybe look at a couple of movies, etc., etc. Clothes, even though I like them, I don't, let that engulf, my day. But sharing the outfit of the day basically is casual, plum color today. Have this plum colored hat, which I really like a lot. I have worn this with different like bands around it or ribbons around it. You can make it to your own liking. You can remove this, put another brooch or something on it. And this jacket did not come with it, but it happened to, I think, match it perfectly. It's like a very, very warm kind of quilt, like puffy jacket. And I did not want to wear the obvious black turtleneck. So I did a gray turtleneck, and I got some black leggings on, and I've layered t-shirts and also tights underneath this for a warm day. And I have these Space Cadet looking booties on that is like a plum and a black color. Very casual, warm outfit. Something if I was going shopping that I would go in the mall shopping for. Anyway, the perfume of the day, I've shared this one before. Oh, but before I do, I wanted to share, even though I have shared it before, the lipstick. That's my makeup. If I say I'm wearing makeup, I'm wearing lipstick. That's basically the gist of my makeup is lipstick. But this is a beautiful color. It's kind of plum, sparkly, and it's called On and On, and it's by MAC. I've had it probably too long because I rarely wear it, but I wanted to wear it today. The perfume of the day is by Be Layered, Perfumes de Marley. Delana is the inspiration of this perfume. And it's called First Kiss Exclusive, and it's a very sweet, rosy, different, lovely scent. Very different, very ladylike, and I like it a lot. Wanted to share that. And I chose the exclusive because it's a little richer. And even though First Kiss is nice as well, or the First Kiss is nice as well as the Delana, that's not the exclusive. It's nice as well, but this is not as floral, and this has a little bit more depth and warmth and mystery to it, and I really appreciate Be Layer's inspired collection of perfumes. And even though I do have some perfumes that I spent quite a lot of money on, I found this one by mistake, and I really like it. And if I decide one day to get the other, or any other kind of very pricey perfumes, I really don't, say, this is not expensive or this is too expensive, and decide, whether or not I want to get it. If I like it, then I'm more than likely going to get it if I'm thinking about it, or if I'm in the mood to get perfumes, etc., etc. Anyway, that is the perfume of the day and the outfit of the day. Anyway, I'm going to do a brief share about the thought of the day. And I think this may be, and I'll see where the conversation goes here, more about the metaphysics of cholesterol in the body. And I'm sharing this because in the last couple of weeks, a lot of people have come to me. I mean, I don't announce anywhere, hey, I'm holistic this and that and the other. People just watch you in general, how you act, what you do, what you eat. and they ask you questions about, hey, I had a high cholesterol level, this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, I don't necessarily say what you eat because I observe sometimes if I'm with somebody what they eat and how active they are. But these two people came to me, it's like, in different time spans, whatever, my cholesterol is very high, this, that, and the other. And of course, I asked the obvious, what's your total cholesterol? What's your LDL? What's your HDL, et cetera, et cetera? Are you on any other type of medicine? Are you diabetic, et cetera, et cetera? And they usually be the obvious answers to me, because if you look at a person and they tell you certain things about their lifestyles, what they eat, how they move, et cetera, you'll know kind of what their numbers will look like, because everybody is different. Because you will be surprised. I know, with someone that I know, they eat a lot of pork and, drink, and their cholesterol is, yes, and their cholesterols are usually pretty normal. And for the longest time, when I really was not really looking into the cholesterol and how the liver functions, I was quite confused with that, because I've heard, pork is bad, bad fats are not good for you, can clog your arteries. So you have to stay away from, pork or fatty foods and things of that nature. But now, that the age of information, more people are more aware that, fats are good for you, because you need fats, especially healthy fats from olive oil, fish, your omega-3s, and etc. are much needed for your brain function, for energy, for a healthy body in general. Is needed for the body, and then specifically for your hormones is much needed. And so, a life without fat is not good, because you do need some healthy fats in your system. And with this particular person, they not necessarily was very active. Matter of fact, they didn't do much exercise at all. But we really have to look at and think about the metaphysics when your cholesterol, your LDL and your HDL are elevated or not elevated enough. It basically says that you're stagnant. Your body is stagnant. You're too stagnant, maybe mentally, physically, or spiritually. So we have to look at that aspect of ourselves. Or the liver, metaphysically, is basically associated with some type of male resentment or problems or issues. So, and when I told this other person that, I was like, what are you holding on to? What are you angry about? And it was like, well, how did you know? I was like, well, that's usually what is associated with, what is associated with, especially if you have a long history of it in your, not necessarily in your bloodline, but in your life. And you can pass that down, really, instead of, heart disease running our family and diabetes running our family, etc., etc. So she really thought about that and gave her suggestions about not being stagnant mentally, physically, with certain aspects of her personal life. And also some things to help her with moving the cholesterol in her body that wasn't stagnant and didn't really need to be there. And what I like to give people and also suggest readings for them are things like the Master Cleanse and apple cider vinegar. I don't really go for the hardcore, detox things. You first have to start small. And I tell people we naturally detox anyway. If we sweat, that's a form of detoxing. If we have bowel movements, healthy bowel movements pretty regularly, that's a way of detoxing. If we urinate, that's a way of filtering detox as well. So those are aspects of, maintaining a healthy body or system. And the Master Cleanse is a good book because I like that it's a very simple read, and basically I read what I really like about this. Let me see, this introduction. I really like this, so I'm going to read it. The Master Cleanser. Man's mastery of disease will only be final when ignorance and fear are overcome by proper observance of all laws pertaining to the creation of bones, flesh, and blood. Working knowingly with Master Cleanser and Master Bill brings human closer to perfection of the human form. This might not be what I was looking for. What part is it? Let me find it. I should have marked it. Let's see. Okay, this is it right here. To be complete, a healing system must be able to cover the entire field of human experience physically, mentally, and spiritually. Any system which denies any part of the Trinity fails in its attempt to heal to the same extent to which it denies its part or parts. For the novice and the advanced student alike, cleansing is basic for the elimination of every kind of disease. The purpose of this book is to simplify the cause and the correction of all disorders, regardless of the name or names. As we can eliminate and correct one disease, we correct them all. So as I mentioned, all of the organs of the body are related to the chakras. And, mentioning what I've mentioned before about my coworker and them not knowing the correlation between, even though my coworker, she had this particular called pendulum, and since it was hers, I let her hold it. And a lot of people, they say, oh, that's Reiki, this, that, and the other, and they didn't believe in it. So, we were in an office and we put a sheet down and people laid on it. And this was, I'll say, long ago, so I'm not going to say where it was. But anyway, they laid down, and over certain, body parts, you can tell where someone was over or under, if they had issues with their reproductive system. They didn't tell us that. If she put the pendulum over the reproductive or the sacral chakra, the seed of creation, whatever you want to call it, if, the pendulum wasn't working a lot, and it's like, it's like you have issues with your sacral chakra. In other words, your reproductives, you're over sexually stimulated or under sexually stimulated, or you're not creative enough. And then people be like, oh my gosh, I was writing a book and I decided not to write the book, and I've just been stagnant, or I have issues with my uterus, or I have issues with this, that, and the other with my reproductive system, or I've been I've been celibate for 4 years or something like that. And it was like, wow, it's amazing how that works. And then going over the other energy fields or their other chakras or organs, they were surprised, that those are overactive, the pendulum moving a lot, or the pendulum moving very little. And it was very accurate with that certain situation. It was 100% accurate. We could tell people without them telling us, what issues they were having with their energy centers. So indeed, it's very real. So I say all of that is because all of our organs in our body have certain energies within it. And the liver, which, is part of the heart and the solar plexus, and they all are interconnected. And if there's a problem with one, if we're not careful, it will be a problem with all of them. But the liver has an energy system, and if it's stagnant, if we're holding things in, or if we have certain anger, or if so, yes, eating, the unhealthy fats can elevate your cholesterol level in some instances. Everybody that eats really unhealthy fats don't have, necessarily bad cholesterol levels. I watched it over and over and over again. What I consider unhealthy fats, your pork, lots of chips and things like that. But you just don't know your body, so you have to be careful in ways that may elevate your cholesterol level and just show astronomical numbers, elevations in your LDL. It could be also things are stagnant in your life about certain emotions, certain anger that you haven't dealt with yet. You can help move those things by the way you think, by the way you move. Qigong is excellent with that. Walking is also excellent with that. Expressing yourself more, things that help speed up your metabolism. As I mentioned, your apple cider vinegar, your cayenne pepper, your lemon are excellent for moving things in your body if you can't necessarily do it all mentally or socially. You can do it physically as well. You have to keep moving and including the healthy fats in your diet. It's not, as again I'll say, not what we eat necessarily, it's what we think. It's our physical, it's our mental, it's our spiritual as well. What is stagnant in your life, you have to move it out, and you can do that. Again, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, etc. Anyway, that's all I wanted to come forth and say. Hopefully this is helpful somehow, but I wanted to come forth and share that as I was helping a couple of people with that. Anyway, thanks for visiting the city, and I hope that you all have a beautiful day. Take care. What is your liver holding on to? Let it go. Let it flow. Energize. Be free.